The name says it all. I'm Hakeem Branch.
Roger.
And today we're going to recap the Saul Canelo Alvarez Canelo-Lara fight that happened this past Saturday. Talk about what happened, what we feel about what happened, maybe what happens next. I'm going to let Rob start off, because I think when I start talking, people will start getting real hurt in the region right back here where you sit down at. So we go start real soft for you. Go ahead, Rob.
Okay, so before the fight, me and Hakeem talked about it. I even put it on the Facebook page and actually on a couple of the blogs that Canelo would win through a controversial split decision. Now, in my eyes, it really wasn't controversial, but it was how we won. And I thought it was going to be because of a lack of inactivity from Lara, which, let's be honest, only a lot of activity in those rounds that he lost is because he was not engaging in a fight. Now, I know everyone is saying the game is to hit and not get hit. But if you're not going to get hit, you still got to hit him back. Now, while Lara had about 107 punches landed, it's like 70% of them or some crazy high number were jabs. And then Canelo landed roughly 95 or 96 or so punches. It's
97 to 107.
Well, 97 to 1. It's 10 less punches, but 78 of his punch. He didn't really land. I think he landed 9 jabs.
9 jabs.
But most of his power shots were to the body, and they all, and a high percentage of them did land. Now, surprisingly, a lot of judges may not have looked at that in a fight. They might not have scored it like they would that flashy jab or maybe that 1-2 jab with a straight left upstairs like Lara did land occasionally. And I do say occasionally. He started out great. He actually started out outboxing Canelo very well. Boxing Canelo against Canelo very well. But once Canelo landed, and it was just those times where Lara stayed a little too long in the box, and Canelo kind of was able to dig to the body. And as he started digging to the body, you could tell Lara did not like that. And he started to keep his distance more and more as the fight wore on. Now, that was a big ring. And Lara is known for using the ring to his advantage to not getting hit. The problem was, as he circled and made Canelo miss and got away and looked foolish, he did not fire back. There were plenty of chances where he could have countered and countered very well upstairs on Canelo. Now, before anyone says anything and talk goes into when Canelo fought Floyd Mayweather, oh, Mayweather did the same thing. No, he didn't. Yes, he avoided the punches and he used his feet very well, but he also used great head movement, and he was able to punch Canelo and make him think twice. And I'm not talking about with the jab. I'm talking about straight rights. You know, he went to the body. He made Canelo very hesitant. And Canelo had to dig down deep just to say, okay, I got to throw these punches because right now he's whipping my ass. Lara, on the other hand, should have been more assertive when he made Canelo miss. And I'm talking about, if you're going to make him miss and make him reach, take a step in and fire that left. That's all you got to do. Fire the left, come back with a right. There was a moment, and I'm taking up my segment too long, that he literally kind of turned his shoulder and ran to the other side of the ring.
It was round 5.
He still ran.
No, they need. It was round 5. Look at round 5. It happened then. And in that round, he landed the only right hook of any significance in that fight. Rob was being very nice. He ran and he made himself look like a punk. Now, if you guys have been watching this show for a long time, you guys know that I'm a fan of boxers. I was trained in that style myself. I love to hit and not get hit. I like to use the ring. But we were also taught that you make somebody miss and you make them pay. It doesn't matter if you miss and you on the other side of the ring if he not paying for it. Make him pay for it. If you making him miss and you not making him pay, you didn't do a damn thing. And that Lara did too much of that. He didn't do a damn thing. He's walking around like, oh, I don't respect this guy. I'm gonna take him to the Cuban School of Boxing. You know what the Cuban School of Boxing is for? Amateur fighters. And he fought like an amateur fighter. I gave him 2 out of the first 3 rounds, and I gave him 2 out of the last 3 rounds. It's 3 rounds at a time. Other than that, he pretty much was, anytime Canelo got close to him, he ran away like a little girl. And he said, oh, I don't respect this guy, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. You didn't fight like somebody who didn't respect him. If you don't respect him, you go step to him. You go hit him at will. You're going to exchange with him. You're going to tie him up. You're going to bully him around the ring. He did none of that. You can still do all of those things and still box somebody's ears off, like Rob said Floyd Mayweather did. Floyd Mayweather was the boss in that ring when he fought Canelo. He moved when he felt like it. He fired when he felt like it. Everything that was going on, you felt Floyd Mayweather was in full control. Canelo-Lara did not look like he was in control at all at any point of this fight. And on top of that, he never set his feet for any of his punches. He might have landed 1 or 2 serious shots the whole night. The rest of it, he was halfway running away before he even finished landing a punch. If you're going to discourage somebody from coming at you, you're going to have to sit down on some punches. Canelo turned around and ran at him a couple times like, yo, come here. Now, let's be fair. I wasn't too impressed with Canelo either. I thought he looked like crap. Like Rob said, he barely landed any jabs. The 9 that he was credited for was a little bit less than I think he did land. Remember, Copy Box is a guy just like you and me watching these videos, sitting there with a clicker. So he probably missed some. But he didn't use his jab enough. Rob and I have talked about when you cut off the ring, you got to use your jab. They got to be a little hesitant about something coming, and I don't know which way I should move because something might come either way, and he's blinding me with this jab. Canelo didn't do that. Canelo's guard was wide open, which is why Lara did land some good straight left hands, but he didn't do it enough. There were stretches of 15, 20, 30 seconds at a time where Lara did not throw a punch. There was not one punch exchange this entire fight. Now people are going to maybe bring up Ringendow. He used to do that. He learned how to engage his opponent a lot closer and still make them miss and make them pay. Lara still hasn't learned to do that. Bernard Hopkins, Floyd Mayweather, Andre Ward, these guys are masters of making you miss and making you pay. They're masters of range where you will think that they're out of range of punching and then they punch you in the face. And you're like, what the hell, how did I get hit? Because you thought they were out of range, but they weren't. They were setting traps. Lara tried to set traps, but he never really sprung them because he was too busy trying to get out of there. It made it look like he was afraid of Canelo's power. Canelo landed some good body shots. The body shots were making sounds when he landed them. So they were very effective. And the reason why most people don't count body shots is because a lot of times they don't land with that kind of commanding force that Canelo was landing them with. And because Lara was doing absolutely nothing every time Canelo got close besides trying to get him away from him, it was very obvious that Canelo was landing body punches. He was not countering upstairs when he threw to the body. He wasn't trying to tie him up. And every time he did, Canelo pushed him off and threw a combo to the body. Lara never threw more than 3 punches at a time. You can't fight a fight like that and expect to win.
Yeah, with the judges, I mean, one of the things is effective aggression. While Canelo really wasn't as effective that it could have been.
Right.
Lara had almost zero aggression. Actually, Canelo really dictated the pace of that fight by constantly coming forward. And he was unfortunately able to eat those shots and fire back and make it seem as Lara was uncomfortable, which those body shots did. Right. Which was kind of strange for me because Lara being the southpaw and Canelo being orthodox, he constantly kept his foot on the outside. That's just good boxing technique. That is asking for a check hook every time he reaches.
And he landed one the entire fight. One check hook. It was there for him all night. And the one he did land was very good. It was the best punch he landed of the fight, but it was only one. And a round that Canelo won. It was round 5. The same round that he turned around and reigned in. So, if you're watching this video, you probably get the notion that you didn't enjoy this fight. I don't think many people did enjoy this fight. And, you know, we do have to give them props for being the warriors that they are, for doing what they do. This was a bad style clash. Let's just put it like that.
It was. Had Lara put in at least the aggression that Austin Trout had put in, he would have won the fight handily.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, he didn't throw more than 2 punches at a time. A lot of those jabs that he was credited with landing, I'm sorry, I just got distracted. Somebody just got knocked the hell out on UFC. We got it here in the background. You guys should watch that too, because it's great. Anyway, back to the task at hand. It's just, there was so many reasons that this fight could have been great, and a lot of reasons why this fight could have been bad, and all the reasons why the fight could have been bad happened. And unfortunately, we got what we got. Now, with all that being said, this fight still could have went either way. Because like we said, when Lara did land, you could see it. When Canelo did land, you could see it. Both guys were landing very cleanly. And that is a good, because seeing as how good these guys are, both of them are underrated and overrated at the same time. But being that, I mean, they weren't too accurate, but they were accurate. When they did land, they landed cleanly. And you could tell, like, hey, that guy just landed a punch.
They were just too few and far between.
Especially for Lara. And like we've been harping on this whole time, you can't land a pawing jab and then skid across the ring where there's no room for anybody to engage. That is the difference between boxing effectively and running. So even if you was like, hey, well, Lara's showing ring generalship. No, he looked like he was uncomfortable in there. It was more so Canelo showing the ring generalship. He was showing the effective aggressiveness. And when there were landed punches, he was the one landing in combination. You could remember him landing punches. And it was so few and far between for Lara. It was like, yeah, he landed a punch maybe like in the first minute. Then landed 2 more in the second minute, and then like 1 more in the last minute. But Canelo's landing 3 or 4 at a time. When he does land, it started to outweigh it. And like, honestly, I think the Coffee Box people kind of got it wrong this time as far as the punches and everything, because a lot of times Lara was kind of just throwing rangefinders out there, and they might have counted it as a punch, like he didn't even move Canelo's head. That's another one people wanted to bring up, like the Chris Algieri fight. Like, well, he fought. No, Chris Algieri kept his jab in Provodnikov's face all night. You could see him reset Provodnikov on his offense. You could see him turn him. You could see him cut angles. You could see him throw combos.
That's right.
So these were different fights. These were different styles. They used boxing effectively. Lara, unfortunately, did not. And the reason that I myself am so frustrated is because we know Lara is a lot better than that. He had the potential to make this a Mayweather 2 for Canelo, and he didn't do it. There were some things that Canelo could have done better as far as cutting off the ring and tightening up his defense, but really the onus was on Lara, because he was the guy who was doing all this harping about trying to get this fight. Like, we know who Canelo is. This was Lara's stage to shine. A lot of people had no clue who he was, and now they don't want to see him again.
Now, as far as the scores was 115, 113 for Lara, 115, 113 for Canelo. But that last scorecard, depending on, because there were some really close rounds, depending on what you preferred, it could have gone 117, 111, but it's still too far. Yeah. I had it 115, 113 for Canelo. I honestly re-looked at the fight. Could be some rounds that could have been, just a straight up draw, 114, 114, or with Lara. It just depends on what you prefer. Like I said, that big ass ring allowed Lara to move, which is all well and good. Use your advantage, but use your advantage to the point where you can beat this guy down, especially if you have that kind of advantage. You had the technique advantage, you had the athleticism advantage, you had that at least a one punch speed with the straight left and the check hook to put him on his, if not put him on his ass, just to make him think twice before stepping in the box or coming in recklessly.
Yeah, Canelo should really talk to his people about that. Like, what were you guys thinking about getting this big ass ring when you know how this guy moves?
Yeah, Chepo, his trainer, should have.
I don't think he deals with the business stuff.
Well, actually, he's not only his trainer, but he's part of his management.
Yeah. Well, he needs to sit down and have a talk with them.
But Ronnie Shields needs to go back to Lara and it's like, look, you have to start stepping it up to these fights if you want more big money fights and you want to be on television. Yeah. That was your first pay-per-view headline. This should have been his coming out for future pay-per-views.
Right.
But now, unfortunately,
he's going to get blackballed like Rigondeaux.
He's either going to get blackballed or he's got to start all over again on ESPN2 or Showbox or something that he has no business being on behind guys like the Charlo brothers, Carlos Molina, Demetrius Andrade, Kirkland.
I think he's better than all those guys.
I don't know about Andrade. Well, Andrade is more aggressive, so he could actually take a fight to someone. But
Andrade's pretty damn good. He's come a long way.
Skill-wise, yes. As of right now, skill-wise, Lara is probably at the top of the food chain. If you want to count him as 154 under Mayweather.
Yeah. If he's coming back to the division, which I doubt.
Right. So he's going to have to get some fights where it's like Ronnie Shields needs to tell him, press. You know you have the advantage. Lay some leather on him.
Yeah. Kind of like he did with Roland Hearns.
Yeah, Ronald Hearns.
I'm sorry.
Ronald Hearns, he fought pretty well against Angulo. Angulo was just a tough dude. He made him cut. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that you want to see.
Yeah, he stood and traded with Angulo. He didn't do that with with Canelo at all.
Yeah, you know you're gonna make him piss. I mean, you make him miss. So put him out. Put him down. You know you can do it.
They got to pay for them misses. You can't dance around the ring and get your Charlie Chaplin on. You got to get your Muhammad Ali on. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Muhammad Ali, that's another person. Muhammad Ali was always moving, but he was always moving in punching range. Even if he wasn't in the opponent's punching range, he was in his own.
That's right.
Or he got out just long enough to sucker them in to his punching range. And I fully believe that Lara's capable of doing that. Get off my soapbox.
Now, what's next for him? They talk about Canelo fighting James Kirkland, which is going to be one hell of a fight, especially if it gets out of 3 rounds. Because if you let Kirkland out of 3 rounds, it's going to be a slugfest. And then after that, if he wins, they're talking about putting him in with Cotto for a big money fight, which will be a big money pay-per-view fight.
I actually would very much appreciate to see that.
Lara, I think they're going to kind of do him like Austin Trout. Austin Trout is actually going to be on ESPN2 in August. So I can see him probably being on ESPN2, Fox Sports 1, or Showbox at some point.
Well, Lara has 2 very good things going for him. One, the fight was at 155, so he didn't lose his belt. And 2, he's got Al Heyman.
Yeah, he's still a champ. So
he's still a champ. He still has the best advisor person to get you on TV and get you a lot of money in the business with Al Heyman. So he'll get a good money fight after this.
I'm sorry. Because he still has a belt, Showtime Championship Boxing. There we go.
There you go.
I would like to see Canelo versus Kirkland because I think Kirkland presents a whole different set of problems for anyone at 154, even if he's not the most skilled.
Yeah. But he hasn't fought in ages. Last time he fought was Glenn Tapia. That was like, when was that?
Yeah, that was last year. And Glenn Tapia has had a fight after that. So, I mean, yeah. He's coming back faster. On another note, I don't know if you all watched the undercard, but Juan Manuel Lopez got knocked out by Francisco Vargas.
That was a pretty damn good fight.
For as long as it lasted. That was the knockout in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
Well,
they stopped. This corner stopped the fight rightfully because, I mean, I don't think he knew where he was.
Yeah, his punch resistance is just about gone. It might be time for him to hang it up, but congratulations to Francisco Vargas. If I'm not mistaken, he's still undefeated, and he'll probably move up a division because he's pretty big. So look out for more fights from him. Abner Mares had his he won his comeback fight
after getting knocked out by Johnny Gonzalez.
I still think he's too small for that division. At least he just looked, even though he won, he just looked so much smaller than the guy he fought. And anyone that's any good,
Jonathan Oquendo.
Yeah, Oquendo. Either way, if whoever he fights in that division will be bigger than him. Anyone he fights will be bigger than him. I think he would be best served to move back down.
Yeah.
And if you caught it on the prelims on Showtime, Showtime Extreme, Tomoki Kameda had his U.S. debut against, I can't remember his first name, but last name was Singyu. Hit him with a beautiful left body shot, left hook to the body that put Singyu.
Shots, man.
They didn't even count to 10. They saw his face. It was like, gotta stop it. It was great.
And he didn't get up for another minute or so after they stopped the fight.
So
beautiful.
I mean, shout out to him. I don't know. They're finally bringing these Japanese fighters over. I want to see more of them. If they're not tough, they're pretty good. And his brothers are all still champions, right?
Yeah, they're all champions.
All champions. This is like the first time in history where they had 3 brothers that hold belts. I'm looking forward. If I see more of that, I am looking forward to seeing more of them. At least Tomoki. So, that's all we got for you today.
Yeah, that's it, guys. I hope you liked the video. You know what the comment section is for. Leave them down there. Check out our Facebook page, Capital Combat. Earlier today, Rob posted this crazy video of this guy getting knocked out in an MMA match with a capoeira spinning wheel kick. Thing of beauty. And, you know, we regularly interact with our fans on there. You can also hit us up on Google+, or you can shoot us an email, capitalcombat@gmail.com, when we do our video mailbags. So if you got any questions, shoot us some questions so we can do our video mailbag. And make sure, if you like this video, to like it. And if you haven't subscribed to us, make sure you do it. So, we'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.
This is round 1 and you've already lost. They don't seem to see that everything we've done is coming and gone. My fists are on fire, I perform till I perspire. My demons are in a rage, keep thinking that it's a game. I kick crime, hurricane, I told them I don't play, I'm liquid.
Black Street Fighter.